social media, myself and Gordon and Tom, joined by KT right now, because for a second consecutive season, Narberth pulled off the Great Escape. It did look like it was getting a bit tight a few weeks ago, but a 24-17 win at Llanelli Wanderers at the weekend means they will be in the WRU Premiership for another season. KT, how are the nerves from the weekend?
Well, I'm still getting over it. I've got to put some highlights in my hair now because I'm going grey by the moment watching that match. I tell you, it was something else, Ben. Shall I summarise for you?
Go for it, yeah.
Well, the first half was tight. We scored first. At half-time, it was 14 points all, so nail-biting still. The rain started then, just before half-time. Big black cloud, and it descended on us. It was monsoon-like for the rest of the afternoon, including thunder, but they kept playing. Narberth ran out winners, but what I must say is that in all that rain and unbelievable conditions, every pass was held and every kick was fielded and not dropped by the Narberth players. We were fortunate to have, in a way, that one of their men was given a red card for something naughty about 5 minutes into the second half. So our pack then was able to overrun theirs to a certain extent. But it was nail-biting stuff. But the boys played with heart and spirit, and they did Ricky Guest really proud. So well done to them. 24-17. Nice. Job done.
Yeah, we've been speaking about this, haven't we, Gord, for the last few weeks and months about whether Narberth would get over the line. And I don't think we ever doubted them, but it did get close, didn't it, as the season went on?
Yeah, it's a second successive season that the Otters have just stayed in that division by the skin of their teeth. But, they're our best side in the county. There's no question about that. The level that they're playing at is a really high standard. And we need to keep aside from Pembrokeshire in that division. So I'm delighted for Narberth to actually achieve staying in the division and having another crack at it again next season. The most important thing is it's mainly a Pembrokeshire side as well. Mm-hmm. That's what I like about Narberth, because years ago it was touted that when we were going to go up as a first class Pembrokeshire side, that it would have been, every team would have been, contributing. And they're doing that now. They've gone back to basics, and we've got a lot of talent in Pembrokeshire, and we need to showcase that. And if that's Narberth is the club to do it, then so be it. You can't be too tribal about these things. Every player's got to develop, and Narberth are doing things the right way. And let's hope that they go from strength to strength now. They've had 2 seasons where they've just managed to stay there by the skin of their teeth, but perhaps they can take it on another level, get to mid-table and improve. And I'm really looking forward to next season as well. Now.
Yeah, I think it's a really good effort. They've done it again for that second consecutive season. But there was a subplot to KT, wasn't there? Ricky Guest was on the show during the Six Nations, and it was a brilliant chat we had with Ricky that night he came on. But he announced obviously that he is going to be stepping down. How much of an impact has that had on the team, do you think, over the last few weeks? And how important was it to do it for Ricky on Saturday?
I think the team were motivated to do it for Ricky anyway. Personally, I'm not sure it was a wise decision to announce it 6 games to go. Didn't need to do that to keep the support of the players. They would have fought hard for him anyway. By the way, I must say the win at home against Neath 2 weeks ago was absolutely huge. It set the scene for the last 3 games, which were all away from home. So we needed that win. Neath in 4th place, Narberth then in 12th. Yeah, and we turned them over. We made them look pretty ordinary, I have to say. So last season, Ben, to use an aquatic analogy, the Otters just kept their head above water. And this season, I think they've learned to swim with the big fish, I should say, and of course, prove that they can bite the big fish. It's been a very strange season because we beat top teams and lost to lower teams. Yeah. It was like a confidence roller coaster, and that's what was missing for most of the season: confidence and therefore composure. They're well good enough; they always have been. Yeah. But you just got to prove it when the time comes.
Because if you would have told them at the beginning of the season they were going to beat Pontypridd and Neath in the same season, they probably wouldn't have believed you. And they did both of that and still had another exhausting season.
Yes.
What do they need to change next season, Katie, to not have an exhausting survival battle?
Well, psychologically, there's a big test. They've overcome a big psychological hurdle now by staying up in the way they did. So that'll help them. I think I'll ask Ricky on Saturday, what does the team need to do in terms of maybe bolstering the squad, whether it's quality of players or a few more quantity. I mean, we're not a big money club, and that's another thing to remember. The clubs from further east are big budget clubs. They can afford to pay their players just a little bit more and retain them and recruit better players. Money does come into it to a certain extent for these kind of semi-professional players. But all these players that play for Narberth, they don't get a lot of money to play, and they've all got jobs.
100%.
Yeah, and you look at the teams in that division. We've mentioned a couple that Narberth have beaten, but the likes of Merthyr and Neath and Pontypridd. Is there a sense that Narberth will always be punching their way in that Premiership, KT?
I think so, as long as things stay as they are. I mean, what's the answer? Bring in a billionaire chairman and take over the place like a football style to recruit top players? That's not going to happen. It's a very traditional and friendly club. It's a family club, and I think long may it remain that way as long as they can perform well. Getting to the top of the Premiership, I think, is a step too far. Mid-table side should be comfortable. They might finish 7th or 8th now if they beat Brecon comfortably on Saturday. All of a sudden, from being 12th.
What worry? Yeah. Ricky Guest has spoken to you, hasn't he, in all sorts of weather, actually. I've always liked listening to your interviews, KT. Windy conditions, it's been raining. He's always come out and spoken to you. So we wish Ricky well. And Lloyd Phillips will take charge of Narberth next season.
Yes, he will. And I will try my best to try and get a double interview, perhaps on Saturday, with the two of them. I'm sure they'll oblige as a handover item, Say to Lloyd, now then, Lloyd, what was it like working with Ricky Guest? Be honest. So I asked that question? No, I won't.
You should.
No, Ricky's a great communicator. Does a bit of commentary for S4C, I think, in Welsh language. So he knows how to project and talk about the game in a very sensible and very honest way. When the side has let the club down, he said so openly. As well as the other times when they've had success. So he's a great guy.
I did like you asked him as well. Obviously, Brecon away this weekend, and you said to him, "It doesn't matter now, does it?" And he couldn't quite bring himself to fully agree, could he? Every game matters. I think he was trying.
He said every fixture matters, and fair play. He's right, actually, isn't he?
Yeah,
my
he is.
My comment was a little bit flippant, but why not?
But I think he'll be delighted, in one respect, that this game doesn't matter because safety is guaranteed. Katie, thank you for all your sterling work with Narberth this season. We've always appreciated hearing those interviews and great work from the Otters staying up. Thank you for joining us in this part of the show this evening, and you're going to be back taking over at 8 o'clock as well, aren't you, tonight? So we'll look forward to that. Katie, thank you. We're just going to carry on for just a second before we continue the rugby discussion, because John Evans is going to join us from Tenby RFC very soon to look ahead to their game at the weekend. But Gordon, there's a cup final, isn't there, in the football on Thursday? You're going to the Swansea.com stadium for Hakin versus Penlan. Looking forward to that on Thursday?
Definitely. Both clubs got a lot of history against each other. It's going to be a cracking game. Hakin have won the first division this season, won it quite comfortably. They're in fine fettle. I think they got a couple of players suspended for this big occasion, but they're still very strong. Penlan are mid-table in the West Wales Premier Division, and they beat Hakin, I think it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, in the final. And I think they met each other in the semi-final, which Hakin won last season, to reach the final. And they are the holders. Hakin are the holders. They would be the first club in history, in Pembrokeshire League history, if they win the West Wales Intermediate Cup 2 years running. So they got something to focus on, and they're capable of doing it. So it's going to be a really great occasion at the Swansea.com stadium on Thursday evening. I'm looking forward to it, Ben.
It's a 7:15 start, and as you say, Hakin are the holders, and they've got great tradition, haven't they? We heard from Chris Tansey in the first hour of the show, and I know you and Fraser waxed lyrical about some of the West Wales Cup finals you've been to. Chris was talking about winning the trophy on the Vetch Field, of course, with Hakin. What's it going to be like at the Swansea.com stadium on Thursday evening, Gord, do you think?
Well, look back at the best stadium. I went there quite a few times when Hakin, they must have had at least 3 finals there. Chris was probably in charge then as well, and that was a far more smaller stadium, and the atmosphere there was it was good at the. But the bigger stadium, you sort of dilutes the atmosphere because it's a far bigger stadium. Fans are apart, and you know, it's still going to be a great occasion. Don't get me wrong, but the Vetch had something special, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the games at the Vetch.
Yeah, I'll come in there. We spoke to Chris Tansey for the first hour of the show. He said exactly that you had the Vetch. It was a much more hostile, almost enclosed area, and you built up a bigger atmosphere. That would be is the one drawback for me. I should say hello, by the way.
Yeah, we should just say we should made a substitution seamlessly as well. So Katie's been subbed off. Fraser Watson's come on for the final 20 minutes. Great to have you with us, Fraser.
Impact role. I think there could be something in that with me in sport from now on. Ben managing my minutes a bit. But yes, and I've always felt with Liberty, they have everyone in just that one stand, don't you? You've got 3 empty stands.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, a great surface, great experience for the players, but it does look sparse. Right, and you can't drum up the same atmosphere as the Vetch. Probably nicer toilets in the
Yeah, I've been an away fan at the Vetch. I remember that. Yeah, it was rustic.
There weren't many red carpets in the away end, from what I remember.
So just a prediction then for the game. It's going to be tricky. We know Penlan have got good heritage, but I think Hakin. Could we make a case that they go into this game as slight favourites? Would you say Penlan finished in 7th spot in the West Wales Premier League?
Yeah, well,
their season's finished.
Gordon made the point that they have lost players actually from the last couple of years, certainly from when they beat Hakin in that final 3 years ago. The Otten boys, I think,
they've both gone.
And I actually watched them earlier in the competition against Fishguard, Ben. They were workmanlike that day, and they ground out a win. It was torrential weather. Famous last word. I wasn't overly impressed with them as a side. I looked at them and I didn't actually think they had enough to go all the way. They've proved that wrong, but know-how, if you've got the quality, know-how does count for a lot in this competition. That's proven before. And Penlan have been there and done it. They've done it in finals in the stadium against Hakin just a couple of years back, haven't they? I make Hakin favourites, despite Luby and I think Jake Merrill being out.
They're
now.
both out,
bitter blows for them, those two missing. But I still make Hakin favourites,
Any worry that Hakin haven't played? Have they played since they... When was their last game? Would have been a couple of week or so ago.
The game that relegated Clarby Road, I believe.
Yeah,
it would have been. I was there that evening. Yeah, that is about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
That would make no difference because they would have been regularly training. They're match fit, and if anything, it probably would have. They'll be a bit fresher for the evening, to be honest with you. Had it been a little bit longer, it could have been a problem. But I think they're still very eager to get out there and perform. And I have no doubt that Hakin will do very well on Thursday evening.
Penlan's last game was on the 5th of May, so about 6 days ago. And they beat Daven Welfare 8-3. So they've got goals in them.
Yeah.
But I think we're edging towards a Hakin win. And as Gord said, Fraser, just as you came in, it would be a history-making win as well if they were to retain the West Wales Cup. And that's something for Hakin to aim for, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've almost split the West Wales Cup into 2 eras, haven't we? You talked about the Vetch and gone before to this new almost .com era. And like I said, we've talked about this a lot for 20 odd years. It hung over Hakin, not winning it again. And they had to sit back. They had to see Johnston win it. They had to watch Goodwick win it twice. They saw Merlin's Bridge win it. Carew reach a final all before they even reached a final themselves, and they got there and lost. So there would have been envy looking at that, no doubt. And they've put that to bed now by winning it themselves. But none of those Pembrokeshire sides managed to go back to back. No. And I don't know if any Pembrokeshire side has ever gone back to back. Certainly not in modern times.
Hasn't happened.
So look, primarily they want to get out there and win it for themselves. But there will be an extra dimension with that as well, as just to stand on history and retaining it, because history shows very few sides have retained that trophy. Actually,
it's amazing, really, when I think about the side in the 90s. They had a really top side, and for them not to have made 2 finals in a row, they went very close. I think they got to a semi and lost, but and to look at the side they got today, for them to reach 2 finals in 2 seasons, that's really excellent going, to be honest. You're really good going.
Absolutely right. Well, enjoy it. Gord's going. Are you going to be there, Fraser?
I'll be there.
Watson will be there.
Behave yourselves. Good.
I'll be jumping in Gord's car. He'll behave himself in God's country now. I'll make sure of that.
Good stuff. All right. Good luck, Hakin, on Thursday. We're going to come back in just a sec for the final part of the show. And I think we're heading to the Tenby RFC training ground, actually, where the head of rugby, John Evans, is going to be standing by to talk to us. The Pembrokeshire knockout final will go ahead on Saturday. They'll play Abereyron. We heard from Abereyron's coach in the first hour of the show, so we'll get the Tenby perspective on that game and just a chat about the season as well, with Tenby finishing second, of course. So we'll do that next on Pure West Sport.
Eaton Evans and Morris Solicitors have traditional values, but they have a very modern